Diabetes affects millions of people nationwide. So how can you keep it under control, or better yet, avoid it altogether? Well, celebrity fitness and nutrition expert Lisa Lynn is here. She has some tips for us. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Let's start with, first off, why has diabetes become such a huge issue for our country?
I have to just back up for a second. Every 5 minutes, 2 people die from diabetes. Wow. This is no joke. So why is it becoming such a big problem? The problem is our food products are pumped with sugar. Now, I'm going to divulge a little secret. I have the worst sweet tooth of anybody that I know. And I have had to learn how to manage it with some of the tips I'm going to share for you, because it hasn't gone away.
Right.
People say, stop eating, it'll go away. I want it, okay? Let me just be honest.
Give me the chocolate cake.
Here were the mistakes I was making. I've had a lot of blood sugar fluctuations, and while I was never diabetic, I could not lose weight. Even though I was about 40 pounds overweight. I just, no matter how hard I tried or how hard I worked, I couldn't lose. What I learned was my blood sugar was up.
Okay.
And so anybody who's out there who has more than 5 pounds to lose, and it's in this, I used to stand there and go, if I could get rid of this, that was all blood sugar. And that has a whole life of its own. That is a whole other segment. But more importantly, so I started doing the healthy thing, drinking a protein shake the way they said. This has about 23 grams of sugar. Whew. Then I would love yogurt, by the way. This is 30. And then I love my protein granola bars because they're so easy. I'm a soccer mom, to be honest. But what I didn't know was this is 65 teaspoons of sugar. You know how much we're supposed to have for a day?
Probably not even
6.
Oh,
for women, men 9. So this is, and these are just the mistakes I'm showing you. That doesn't include fruit sugar. And all the juicing people are doing. This is the sugar found in these 3 products. Give or take 16 to 20 teaspoons. So read labels, listen up, and do this instead.
Okay, so you have 3 ideas and suggestions for us. And this isn't just for diabetics, but really for anyone.
And by the way, you have a lot more control than you think with diabetes. Not all cases are created equal, but you can lower that blood sugar, and if you're already genetically predisposed, you need to work a little harder, not throw caution to the wind because you're on insulin. Rule number 1, breakfast starts with protein, not carbs.
Okay.
So start your morning, and even if your blood sugar fluctuates and you need to add some because you're low, you still need a good solid protein. But know this, not all protein shakes are created equal.
Okay.
This is 23 sugars. That would be the equivalent of eating some cake. And so if your blood sugar is not going down,
a lot better than
that. Oh heck yeah, this one doesn't even taste good. This one has maybe not even a teaspoon, just enough to carry the protein into the cell. Of course, you've got to shake and make, which I literally just put that in a shaker cup, poured it in. And then the second thing you can do is you could put a little sugar, which also buffers the insulin, helps lower insulin.
Cinnamon, right?
Yeah. So
and
protein.
Cinnamon's good for us.
Cinnamon we can all do. Not only that, start looking at your protein bar. So if you have to grab and go and eat, we all understand that. You better find a bar that doesn't have sugar, because these are expensive cookies, is what I call them. And cinnamon is an easy thing anybody can do. Grab and go, shake and leave, so that you've got some margin for the yummy stuff later that you're going to do.
Perfect.
Rule number 2, snack smart. Popcorn is a natural form of fiber. While I'm not saying go crazy and eat it in abundance, if you have accommodated your meals, like I have this every day of my life, and once again, we can just take that little popcorn. I actually put a little bit of this vanilla protein powder. I spray it with oil, which, by the way, these recipes are in my book. That way you've got a few things. You've got fiber buffering the insulin. You've got your protein, which acts like a lid, can't let it go up. And then you add the cinnamon, and you've got yourself a really smart snack that if you're at work and you're stressed, you can grab and go and eat.
Perfect.
We all do that.
Great advice. If you'd like more information on Lisa and her book, you can check out LynnWith1InFit.com. And you can find her on social media by searching Lisa Lynn Fitness.
Happy to help.
Thank you so much for being here. All right, Nicole, we're going to send it out to you.